Hello.
That is a strong start. I like that.
I know.
I'm just gonna keep that in like that.
Yes.
Oh, no.
So hi, my name is Mino. Most of you probably know me as Nightcat, but yeah, Mino is kind of my second name that I used a lot in the past already, and I'm kind of getting back to it. But yeah, feel free to call me whatever you like. Today I'm joined by my dear friend Cypher, because we wanted to talk a bit about an event that I've been attending, which was really interesting to me and opened my eyes kind of for the whole industry I'm trying to work in, which is the VFX and film industry. Because as some of you might know from Discord, I have been studying visual effects, and I'm now kind of trying to find my way into this industry, which is pretty hard. And yeah, I've got the chance to attend a big event for visual effects artists and creatives in general, and I've learned a lot along the way, and I just wanted to share it with my friend Cypher and also with you guys, because I thought maybe there's something cool to take away from this and yeah, to learn from. So yeah, I would like to welcome you to this first and probably also last episode of this non-existent podcast. Yeah, and that's enough about me. Now I'll transition over to my friend Cypher so he can also introduce himself.
Yeah, so thanks for having me on. I'm Cypher. I'm kind of a newbie to the whole creative field. I do a little bit of video editing. I have a small little YouTube channel where I just do some gaming videos. I also have a video essay series. Yeah, Mino will probably link my description in the account. Probably
No,
not, because he's
definitely
so forgetful. You have no idea. But yeah, I do want to get into the field. I mean, I know it's really hard, but I do want to advance my skills. Also, maybe do VFX, maybe 2D, 3D animation, and stop motion. And I really want to do something with that kind of, yeah. And yeah, that's about it.
Cool. So,
Ouch.
yeah, so we're basically just two guys trying to get into this whole creative industry. And this is why I wanted to talk about the chance I got recently, because I was able to attend a really big event called FMX, which was a creative convention for people working in VFX and film in general, which took place in Stuttgart, Germany, and which I was able to attend. And yeah, I've made a lot of experiences. I made a lot of new connections and stuff. And I also got some tips from professionals and stuff, which I thought were really interesting and might also be helpful for other people who are struggling to get into this industry right now. So I just wanted to share these with you. So, do you have any questions so far?
I mean, I have all the questions. You haven't told me anything about this because you wanted to make a podcast about it.
Yes.
So I'm really excited to hear about it. So you were gone for 3 days, I think?
3 days, yeah, exactly. I mean, yeah, basically 4 days, because it started on Tuesday this week, but I left on Monday to be, there early. But yeah, it was actually a 4-day event. It went from Tuesday to Friday, and I only managed to attend from Tuesday to Thursday, but it was still like a lot of stuff that I could take in. Yeah, so I think we should maybe first cover what this event even was about, what there was to do and stuff, because I think there are many people who are not familiar with this. I personally wasn't either. I just got the chance because I knew someone working at Adobe who was able to get me the ticket for that. And yeah, this is how I basically got there. When I arrived, I noticed that it was a freaking huge event. Like, it wasn't some small convention or anything. It was freaking huge, because there were also people from ILM, which is Industrial Light and Magic, which George Lucas made. There was Frame Store, which is another pretty big VFX studio, and Pixar and Disney, and all of these huge names that you usually only read at film posters and stuff. And suddenly you were able to meet these people working there. And that was just mind-blowing to me. And yeah, basically the event was made to connect different departments of the VFX and film industry. and to get all of the creative people into one place so they could, like connect, show their work, recruit new people, meet new people, make connections, and in the best case also get some new jobs through that. And that was a pretty awesome opportunity. I'm not good with this word. Opportunity. Yeah.
There we go.
Let's do it together. Exactly. Yeah. We'll cut this out.
Yeah. No.
So it was a very big opportunity for me. And yeah, it was awesome going there.
I'm really jealous because it sounds so freaking cool.
It was. I mean, honestly, it was pretty stressful as well, obviously, because there were like so many people and I myself am a pretty introverted person normally. So it was a huge step for me to actually go there and to get into this crowd of creativeness. But yeah, it was actually something completely new for me to be surrounded by so many creative and awesome people, kind of. I mean, I didn't know anyone when I was there. I mean, I attended this completely alone, so I didn't know anyone to start with. But over the course of the event, like, I didn't meet many people, but I made some people. But these people, they were actually pretty cool because they were not only cool to talk to as a person, but they were also like really interesting in terms of what they're doing. Because in my kind of bubble that I have, like with friends and stuff, there are not many people who are doing this kind of creative stuff. I'm kind of like, I used to be the only one in my friends bubble for years who did creative stuff. And now I know you, obviously, who also does creative stuff. But before that, I used to be the only one and I didn't know how to meet other creative people. And then suddenly I was surrounded by only creative people. So that was pretty mind-blowing to me. And it was so cool seeing all of these huge companies obviously presenting themselves, but also these small creators which were like either alone or a small team of people of 4 to 7 people or something doing these huge awesome projects. Like, this kind of showed me what is actually possible if you have enough patience and, will to do something. You can basically achieve anything. That was so cool to see to me because, yeah, I mean, it's also due to modern technology, obviously, because now we've got Unreal Engine and Blender and Maya and Houdini and whatever to do all of this creative stuff, which, yeah, also enables us as individuals to do massive projects, obviously. But I mean, seeing these small groups of people who were like investing all of their time and stuff into a little project and then turning it into something that's so amazing that it's even better sometimes than what big studios like Disney or Pixar do, was just mind-blowing to me. And I felt really heartwarmed, English, when I went there and saw all these cool people. It was just amazing. Like, I mean, I still didn't dare to talk to any of them, but it was just cool to know that these existed. And yeah, this also gave a sense to me of there are actually people, like obviously, but that there are people working in this industry who are only humans themselves. Because something that was pretty abstract to me all the time when I saw like Hollywood movies and stuff was always that you only saw the name of the company who did this, like, yeah, exactly. Frame Store or whatever at the end of the movie, but you never actually saw the people who were working at this. And this was also something that I really appreciated, to actually see the people behind these companies now for the first time. Because
a face to the machine, exactly.
Exactly. Because you always imagine these huge studios just like being huge machines of small people who are just one gear in this giant clock, whatever. But now actually seeing these people, seeing that they also are people with passion and family and actual like emotions and faces, just was something pretty cool, because that took this level of abstraction completely away from it and showed me, okay, there are only humans working on these huge movies as well. And that it's not impossible getting there, in fact, because I think many people are actually dreaming of working for these big companies like Framestore or Pixar or Disney, whatever. And to me, it always felt like, okay, I'm a little student, I don't know anything, and I will never be able to get there eventually. Like, even if I dream about getting to Pixar, it will never be possible, because it's just such a huge leap to get there. But now it actually showed me, okay, there are people who also started out like me, and they also eventually made it. So it is possible. And this was something pretty awesome for me to to see. Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. That's really cool. So were you able to then talk to a few companies and stuff, or?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, yeah, as I said, there were many big companies attending these events as well. Like, yeah, as I said, George Lucas, a company in Industrial Light and Magic, and Framestore, and Disney, Pixar, and there were many more, but I can't think of any right now. However, yeah, they were just standing there, and you could talk to them, like to the recruiters of these companies. The cool thing was that you could also like go up to them and obviously talk to them and stuff about like their career and so on. But you could also go up to them and be like, hey, could you just look at my portfolio, please? Because yeah, in this industry, like the portfolio is your most valuable thing.
It's everything, yeah.
Basically, exactly. Like this is most of the times what decides if you get the job or not. So having a good portfolio is obviously really important. And so having these people there who have a lot of experience was pretty cool, because then you could just go up to them and be like, hey, could you please look at my portfolio and stuff? And they would actually give you quite harsh, but also quite useful feedback then, which was pretty cool. And what I also really appreciated, that there were not only big recruiters and stuff of these big companies, but there was also Adobe, a huge brand. They actually had a bit more time and actually sat down with you and talked to you. They actually took their time and, you know, just looked at your portfolio and gave you actual feedback and took time to talk to you about your portfolio. And this is something I really appreciated.
Yeah, that's something you definitely don't get.
Exactly. You don't get this chance often. So to anyone who has enough money and time to go to this event, especially if you're just starting out, please do it. It's worth it, definitely. I mean, it's not really cheap. It's freaking expensive, to be honest. But yeah, as I said, if you have the money and if you've got the time, please attend any of these events, because this was pretty awesome, to be honest.
Yeah, because I feel like if you're really prepared, like you know which companies are there, you do a little bit of research, you know, a couple weeks before you do some research, you pile up a bunch of questions that you want to ask and stuff like that. If you have the right questions, then I feel like you could definitely learn a lot of things, and you can take away a lot of things, which can really accelerate your career and stuff like that. So
yeah, definitely. Especially because at the moment I feel like it's really hard, like especially right now, it's really hard getting into this industry, right? Because I mean, I noticed that myself, obviously. Like I graduated from university and then I learned VFX and stuff, but I didn't really know where to go from there, because I applied to all of these companies, either small or big. I did both, and either they didn't reply, or they were just like, yeah, sorry, we don't have the capacity right now to take new people, or sorry, could you do it for like half of the money than we actually intended to give you, because, you know, we can't pay you anymore. And I was like, yeah, I'm sorry, but I can't do that, because I also need to live off something. And this was something that actually really got me down and really got me really frustrated. And I think many people are feeling the same way. And I mean, it's always been hard, but especially right now, I think there's just a hole for the whole industry where everything is just falling down and nobody actually knows what's going to come in the future, especially because of AI and all the strikes and, you know, like other stuff going on in the world. Like, it's just getting harder at the moment. I think, yeah, especially for people just trying to start out, it's really hard. So
yeah, and that's something I also have a lot of fear about, because like you have an education and still you can't really like get your foot in the door, and that's something I'm scared about, because I am a complete beginner. I'm fortunate enough to be living in Germany, so I can get an education, an affordable education, no problem. But what comes after that, that's the scary part, because like you have your education and can't get any further. And I have talked with a lot of experts who do job research and stuff like that, who have told me, you know, this might not be the best career. Why don't you try something else? And so many people trying to convince me to go in a different direction, work with my hands, work at, you know, whatever. And yeah, it's a little bit off-putting, but honestly, I wouldn't know what to do if I can't be creative, because being creative is something what is so powerful and such a big voice. You know, I love being able to craft narratives and stuff, and I have so many abstract ideas in my head, and be able to learn 2D and 3D would be a great way to take these ideas out and create stories that inspire and provoke and do all these awesome things. But unfortunately, like, yeah, these companies, these mega companies, like, we are replaceable in their eyes, we are dispensable in their eyes, because they're just looking for the best of the best. They're looking to, you know, form this one-time big hit wonder, whatever. And that's something that I feel like a lot of people also misrepresent when they think about the creative field, is that it really does come in two big branches. You do have the creative side where you're able to be yourself, you're able to, be creative, but on the other side, it's just a giant competition, and it's just trying to one up each other, it's trying to be the best of the best, and that's it.
Yeah, exactly.
And that's something that it's really scary. Like, I myself, I don't want to give up, and I'm not going to. I'm going to continue pushing, even if, it's completely insurmountable. And if it is completely, impossible, I'm still going to try, because it's what, gives me life. It's important to me. And that's, I think, what's really important, is that even if you don't get your dream job, if you're happy doing it, if it gives you inspiration to do it, then don't stop.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it's the same for me. Like, being creative is actually like the only thing that gives me strength in my life. It enables me to get, as you said, these ideas out of my head that are stuck in there for years, and it just like is the only thing that actually makes me happy and keeps me sane, basically, in this crazy world, so to say. And yeah, I absolutely agree. But I think a lot of people are actually feeling this way, and this is also why there is a market overflowing with newcomers and new people trying to get into this industry, just because it's so attractive. At least it seems like it at first sight. Yeah, also another thing that many people, including me, are facing, I think, especially newcomers, is that these huge companies you're trying to apply to always expect from you to exactly know what you want to do from day one. Yeah, right?
A specialist.
Yeah. Exactly. You need to specialize in a certain area. Otherwise, you're basically not worth anything for them. Because, for example, Pixar or Disney, they've got their set plans and their schedules when a film has to be finished, which means that they have to be really efficient with their time and with their employees, like how they work. They've got a tight schedule, and everything has to work within that schedule. And as a beginner, you most of the time don't quite know where you want to go yet, which is also something I'm facing. And so this means a generalistic approach would be better for you, because then you can kind of try out different things. You can be like, okay, I'm interested in animation and in modeling and in 2D animation and whatever, and I want to do all of these things and experience all of it before I actually, decide what I want to do for the rest of my life. But this is not what these companies need. They need specialists, as you said, who already know what they want to do, who already have experience, and also are really efficient at their work, so that they can get their shit done, which the company needs in order to make more money and, be sustainable and stuff. And so this is also why many beginning artists are probably struggling to get into the industry, because it's just not appreciated who they are as generalists. And this is also something I was struggling for a lot of time. But when I attended this event, I was talking about this to a lot of people, also professionals, and most of them said, yeah, that's true, like these big companies don't need generalists, and this is why you should apply to small companies first. Just not try to reach for the stars and try to get into Pixar right away, but first try to look locally. What kind of companies are there in my local area? Are there maybe small animation studios? Are there any branding companies? Are there any whatever 2D animation studios that I could apply to? And then apply to these companies, or startups, for example, because these companies, they obviously don't have so much money to spend, which means they can't have so many employees, which then means that they would rather have someone who's really good with everything and can do a bit of everything for them, instead of only having one specialist who's only good in one thing but can't do anything else.
Plus, it also gives the person who's taking on that job, the opportunity to get not only a new perspective, but also gives them the chance to expand their portfolio, which is also really important.
Definitely.
And if, as a generalist, you continue working on your portfolio, you do a couple of these small odd jobs. Maybe it's freelancing for, colleagues or whatever, or maybe, working for startups. Even if it's not the best job, at least you're getting experience. Then you can slowly, if you're interested in that, specializing into one area, and then eventually get up to that dream job of working at Pixar or Disney or whatever.
Exactly. Yeah, this is exactly what they also told me. First you need to work some odd jobs in order to get some money and try to stay alive. But eventually you will meet someone who will then get you into your first job, and from there, your first job is going to be shit. Let's be honest, it's going to be shit. But from there, you've got experience, and then you can from there look where you want to go next, because then you've got experiences, which is really super important, as I noticed, because many people are also looking for experienced people. Yeah, the more experience you have, obviously, the more valuable you are, which means if you got only a little bit of experience in your first job, that's already far more important than a lot of other stuff you could do. And yeah, with this experience, you can then apply to other companies and then work yourself basically up to your dream job.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And I mean, the whole thing is just do it. Like, yeah, you just have to start, and that's about it. You know, I've been doing small YouTube channels, like nothing big or anything like that, just, you know, gaming videos and stuff. And yeah, it's probably not going to take me anywhere, but it's something that I've been wanting to do for a while, you know, maybe, I don't know, 8-10 years now. And I mean, you told me just fucking do it.
Yeah.
And so I did, and I'm having so much fun. And before that, I didn't know what I wanted to do because, you know, I was creative, but I didn't know which direction. And now that I'm doing video editing, now I know, oh, okay, maybe I want to do 2D, maybe I want to go 3D, and this completely opened my eyes. And yeah, that's just do it. Like, what do you have to lose?
Yeah, exactly. You just need to get started somewhere.
Exactly.
It doesn't matter where. It doesn't matter what it is. Even if you want to do animation in the end and you start with modeling or painting something, it doesn't matter. Just do something, get experience at it, get into better companies that better suit what you want to do, and then just work your way up from there. And it will work out eventually because you started somewhere.
And have fun with it, because it's not, you know, it's not, okay, my goal is to get there, because usually the job is shit. I mean, that's most of the time is the reality.
Yeah, especially in our industry, unfortunately.
Exactly. But I mean, you're supposed to enjoy the journey. You're supposed to have fun while creating and while getting up there. And if you're enjoying it just because you're able to do something creative, if you're enjoying it because you're able to progress your skills, if you're enjoying it because you can evolve as a person, then that means that this field is perfect for you, because that's all what it's about, because that end job is not going to be as great as you think it is. It's not going to be all, you know, sunshine and rainbows. But if you enjoy doing what you're doing, then that's all that matters.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, there have even been some people who are like really experienced, who have like been working in this industry for 20 years and stuff. And even they said, okay, my dream was always to work at a big company. And when I actually got there, I noticed, oh shit, they actually require a lot from me. They want a lot of my time, a lot of my resources that I have as a human, and a lot of free time that I have to offer, which isn't gonna be paid. And this is absolutely not how I imagined working here. Now I've been like working all of my life just to get up here, and when I finally reached this goal, I noticed, well, it's not actually as great as I imagined it. And so they started going down the stairs again in order to get into smaller companies again, because it's just more chill working there.
Exactly. Free time is the most valuable thing you have on this planet.
Exactly, yeah. I mean, not only free time, but lifetime in general. Since, I mean, yeah, exactly, I absolutely agree, because you only have one life.
Exactly.
So choosing how you spend your time, and especially your free time, is super fucking important, because the worst thing you can do is wasting all of your life sitting in a shitty job, just working your ass off only to get a little bit of money to be able to live, and in the end just, okay, I've actually never did anything in my life which I actually really enjoyed. I've just been working. Yeah, I wish I would have done something else. This is something that you should really avoid. So
yeah, there's nothing wrong with being ambitious. I think being ambitious is, you know, really good. I mean, obviously, if you go too little, then you're a lazy ambitious, and then oh, I want to do this, but you never actually do it.
Yeah.
And then there's the other side of the spectrum where it's like, okay, you know, I need to do this, and this, and then you don't enjoy the process, and then that's also bad. So it's a really fine line between like, I want to do this, I'm going to do this, but also doing what you love. And it's really hard to find this line, but if you do find that balance, then yeah, life is going to be great, because you are going to be able to find that fulfillment.
exactly, absolutely. And yeah, exactly, as you said, it's also really important to get the work that you're actually enjoying, because this is a fact that you will spend the most of your life just doing work. But if you actually enjoy that work, there's nothing that can actually, you know, like mess your life up again. So that's, yeah, I think what you just said is pretty inspiring. Yeah, that's true. So, yeah, another thing I wanted to talk about, which we briefly talked about earlier already, is the portfolio. Because as you mentioned already, especially in our industry, your portfolio is the most valuable thing you have.
The portfolio is who you are in a small little USB stick. Like,
Exactly.
That's all of your strengths, all your weaknesses, your life story, all of that in one Augenblink.
Exactly.
I forget what that is in English.
Exactly. So this is, yeah, as you said, it's basically you put into little pieces of work, put into a little folder that you're going to send off to companies. So this is you and how you present yourself to companies. So this is probably also sometimes your only chance to show people who you actually are in order to get that job. So making a portfolio that actually not only stands out to recruiters, but actually represents yourself as a person is super crucial, I think.
But it's also not too big, because that problem is, all these recruiters, all these companies get so many portfolios, get so many resumes. So I forget the exact number, so don't quote me on it, but I believe 3 seconds, between 3 and 5 seconds, that's how long they look at each resume that they get. So you want something that's catchy, something that drags their attention, and something that forces their attention to stay on your portfolio. And that's really hard to do, and that's always individual, so that changes, between people. But yeah, that's also something that you have to keep in mind.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, if your portfolio is great and if it actually fits the job that you want to do, then the chances are obviously higher that the recruiters will look at it much longer than just 3 seconds. But yeah, he's right. Like, if your portfolio isn't quite the match that they're looking for, then they will probably close it within like 3 seconds again. That's totally true. And I mean, maybe we could also talk about like, what is a portfolio even made of? Because I think there's a difference between having a portfolio in other industries than having in this industry. Because for me, what I learned a portfolio should be about is, yeah, obviously you as a person, like maybe a small text, but most importantly, your work that you did in a certain area. Like, for example, if you want to do animation, a lot of animation practices and play blast and stuff. And most importantly, your show reel. Because your show reel is basically a short what do you call that?
A collage.
A collage, exactly, of your best work that you've done and put into a small 1-minute video. So your show reel should be between like 30 seconds and 1 minute, maybe max 1 minute 30 seconds long, not longer than that. And this is basically the core of your portfolio, what represents you as a human and your work at its best in the core, basically. Sorry, my English isn't that great, but yeah, I hope you understand what I'm trying to get across. So this is your core of your portfolio, and around this you can build all of your little projects that you made and can basically break up this whole show reel into smaller projects. And then, yeah, this is basically what makes up your portfolio. Yeah, this is also how you can kind of imagine this, how the recruiters see it, because from my understanding, it's like, okay, at first they look at your show reel, which is, yeah, the core of your portfolio. And if they like that, then they dig deeper into your portfolio and then explore your projects that you actually did. And this is why it's really crucial, and something that I personally didn't know until I approached FMX, that you not only show your polished work like in your show reel, but that you also then show them your thought process behind these individual projects. Because this is something that's actually very crucial for them as well. Because by showing them, okay, I first did this, and then the second step was this, and then that, and then I ran into this problem, which led to this solution, like this thought process is really interesting and crucial to them, because then they can see, oh, okay, this person actually knows how to like work around different problems.
Problem solving.
Exactly. Yeah. And they know how to approach these and to eventually solve these. And yeah, if they only see your polished work, then they don't see the whole process behind it and the thoughts you put into it. But if you show them your progress, then they are much more engaged into your thought process and into your projects themselves, because then they see, oh, okay, this person actually knows what they're doing. They know how to approach problems. And this is something that's really valuable for them as recruiters and also for the whole company itself. So another thing that I always felt when I was here at home was this kind of industry feels really distant. If you want to get to know people, or if you look at their projects, they look so polished, so perfect, and you're always wondering, how did they get there? How did they get to this level of perfection?
And there's no way I can compete with that.
Exactly. There's no way I can compete with that. And also, like, there's no way I could actually look up the resources. I can there's no way I can actually, reach out to them and ask them, like, where did you learn all of this? Because it's just like they're hiding. Like, everybody's just hiding from one another, and there's no way to actually talk to someone about how they approach things and how they got to do these amazing projects. This is how I always felt, because there was never like an obvious way for me to actually, get to know other creative people in order to exchange experiences and stuff. And so it always felt like I'm on my own with this. Like, I want to get into this industry, and I know that there is a community, but this community only seems to be part of this high society creative kind of people stuff. They, like, all of these people who just got a job, they connect to each other and stuff, but if you're at the bottom not knowing anyone, there's no chance to actually get to, get in there. This is what it always felt like to me. But when I attended FMX, I actually got out of my little bubble, and I actually found this whole vibrant world of creative people who were so open-minded and so funny and so cool and so nice to talk to. And it was like, wow, I didn't expect this. I didn't know this was possible. It's all of a sudden I was able to talk to these people who did all of these amazing projects. And I was like, wow, this is amazing. So these, like, going there really opened my eyes for how the world actually is. I always imagined the world to be black and white and to be like everyone be, just staying for themselves and not wanting to talk to other creatives and stuff. But no, actually, in our reality is this whole community is really open-minded and everybody kind of wants to help each other. Even these big companies, like we talked in the beginning about this, it always seems like these big companies are just trying to compete to each other and destroy each other. But actually the opposite is the case. Because like these people in the high positions, they're actually talking to other people from other companies and being like, hey, we developed this tool. Why don't you get some inspiration from us, learn from us, and then help other people, like either big or small, to grow with them.
And I think that's the problem of being an introvert. Like, I myself am also an introvert, and we kind of paint ourselves in our own prisons. But this event also was really expensive, but I mean, it doesn't have to be this event. Any kind of event where you're able to get out, I mean, there's tons of free ones as well. You just have to do some research, or just meeting up with people, going to these places. And yeah, that's really hard. That's really fucking hard to do sometimes. I understand that as an introvert myself, but it works. And if you don't do that, there's no way you're going to be able to do any of this alone. I mean, yeah, you can make great strides, no problem. But you do need other people to kind of lift you up, and there's going to be a point where you're kind of going to want to break down. You're just like, okay, this is too much, and that's when you really need other people to kind of lift you back up. And that's why I think these events, these organizations are really important to, participate in, just so you can see other people and get a new perspective and talk to other people.
Yeah, exactly. To get out of your bubble, to talk to other people. And especially, like, there are two things I want to add to this. First, I mean, you can do great stuff on your own, but if you've got a team, like if it's only like 2 or 3 more people than yourself, you can do so much more. It's so impressive what these small teams can already do. It's even, like, as I said, I saw short movies of 2 to 3 individuals who were better than what Pixar did in years. That was so mind-blowing to me. So if you only know like 2 to 3 more other people than yourself, there's already so much more potential that you can unlock. Yeah.
Exactly.
And the second thing I wanted to say is, which I also had to learn myself, you need to have connections, especially within this industry. This is what everybody says, no matter if they're experienced or not. They all say you do need connections. Because, yeah, as we already said, you can apply to big companies, to small companies, whatever, and it's all cool, and you might get a job through that. But the reality is, most of the times you will get rejected unless you actually know someone in this company you're applying to. Because if you know someone, then they will say, hey, boss I'm working for, there is some cool guy that I met recently at this cool convention, and he or she seems pretty cool, and they do a lot of cool stuff, so why don't you just take a look at them or talk to them or whatever? And then boss is like, yeah, okay, cool, I will take a look at their portfolio and then see what we can do for them. And yeah, so you have much higher chances to actually get somewhere with connections because, yeah, obviously they can get you into these positions than if you don't know anybody. So actually getting yourself out there, getting your name out there, talking to other people, even if it's freaking hard and freaking scary. Like, I get so stressed out when I need to talk to new people, but in the end, it always pays off. Like, I was so stressed out. I was so freaking insecure about myself and about my behavior and my ideas and whatever. Like, the moment I actually got over this point and actually talked to them for real, I noticed, okay, this is actually fucking amazing. Like, these people are so cool to talk to. Everything that I was worried about is actually total nonsense. And these people are just super cool and they just want to help me. They wanted to help me. I didn't expect that, but they actually wanted to help me, and they called companies for me to be like, hey, yeah, do you have a job for him? Can you help this person? And this was so cool to see for me. So I can only encourage everyone, no matter if you're introverted, extroverted, or anything in between, just go up to people, just talk to them, and see what kind of person they are, and eventually also what they can do for you. Obviously, not only what they can do for you, you shouldn't use people to get somewhere. You should also be interested in these people and these personalities, obviously.
But getting your work out there, showing what
Yeah.
you can do and showing who you are. Even if people aren't going to see it, just sending your portfolio to a bunch of people. I mean, if they don't see it, okay. So you lost a couple of seconds sending it, but getting yourself out there is probably the biggest and most stressful hurdle. But once you overcome that, then, I mean, the path is still going to be difficult. Don't get me wrong. It's difficult as fuck, but
Yeah,
at
as
least
soon
you
as
have the
you-
first step over.
Exactly. As soon as you start doing that, you will unlock a world of possibilities. Just believe me, it's amazing. And yeah, exactly. That's another huge thing you should definitely consider doing. Just connect to other people, get your name out there, and be social. Yeah, so to kind of wrap this whole talk up, I would at the end kind of like to give you some advices and also some kind of places you could go to, because I was already told all of that what I just told you. Like, I was told, yeah, you need to be social, you need to, you know, blah 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 blah, socialize and blah. But I was like, yeah, okay, that's cool to know, but where do I actually do that? Where do I actually start? So yeah, here we go. There are some more things that I wanted to add to the portfolio portfolio topic. We're gonna cut this out.
No, I'm not.
Because if you are starting out and you're building a portfolio, you probably have so much stuff you want to show, and you probably are a generalist at this point, which means that you have some animating stuff, some illustrating stuff, some 2D animation, 3D, and some modeling in there sprinkled in, and just all over the place. However, as we discussed earlier, companies appreciate it more if you are specialized on one thing. So you should try to kind of only pick out the things that the companies are interested in that you apply to. Like, if you apply to an animation studio, you shouldn't be sending them illustration stuff, obviously, because they are more focused on animation, so they don't care about the illustration. So if you apply to an animation company, then also only send them animation stuff. I mean, it is fine if you have a generalist portfolio, especially for smaller companies. They appreciate that more than big ones. But yeah, if you apply to certain companies who have really specific needs, then also try to kind of shape your portfolio around these needs. If you want to apply to multiple companies, then you can also just make multiple portfolios. Like, that's totally fine. You don't only need one, you can make multiple. And yeah, making a portfolio is also really easy these days, obviously, because there are a bunch of like website builders like WordPress, and there's also something from Adobe where you can build a portfolio, which I did. It's called Adobe Portfolio. Pretty easy. You can just use that tool or whatever. Just look it up on the internet, how to build an online portfolio, and it will show you a bunch of results that you can instantly use, and it's most of the time even for free. So yeah, you can just build your portfolios, just send them out, and yeah, try your luck. Also, second thing is, as I said, big companies are more focused on specific tasks to do, while small studios, as I said, appreciate it more if you have a generalistic approach. So you should focus on certain things, like show, okay, I'm more interested in animation, so they also get a feel of what you want to do. But you can also send smaller studios all of your work, your general work. And also what I noticed, especially now having visited FMX, is that big companies have always only been interested in the stuff that looked really professional and really polished, and was like, oh wow, look at this, I worked for JBL and I worked for Sony, and oh, I did this and that, and wow, I'm such a big guy. Oh. Like, because I made one little hobby project, which wasn't even commercially used, for a JBL speaker that I found on my desk. So I just took this JBL speaker, made a little advertisement about around it, and then posted that into my portfolio. And all of these big companies were like drawn to that, like flies to light. They were like, "Oh wow, this is so cool! So you did commercially work for JBL and stuff. Wow, that's so cool!" And they were pretty disappointed when I actually told them no, it was just a hobby project. But it did look professional, so they believed it was, commercially used. And this is something really strong that like big companies seem to be drawn to, actually. So yeah, try that if you aim for big companies and you don't have commercial work yet that you can show off, just pretend to have it. Just do stuff that looks professional. Be like, hey, look at this. I worked for JBL, I worked for Sony, even though you didn't, but they will believe it in the first place. And this might open a door for you to then get deeper into their process. So even though you didn't do this commercial work, you can at least pretend to have done it, which will then get you further as if you don't show them any of that and, get rejected in the very beginning. And for smaller studios, I think it's more important to kind of show them that you are versatile, that you know how to solve problems properly, that you know a lot of skills, a lot of tools, that you can adapt quickly, and also that you are creative, obviously, and stuff like that, and that you are good at telling stories. I mean, we're all humans, and we're naturally drawn to stories. And so if you are a good storyteller, then use that skill. I mean, Cypher here is really freaking good at telling stories, if I might say that.
I try to.
You are. And so, if you've got that skill, then use it, definitely. Use it throughout your portfolios. Tell a little story with your work. That's always something that people are going to be drawn to, especially smaller studios. And I mean, I've been talking a lot now, so do you have anything to add?
Yeah, not really. I mean, yeah, you did talk about the reels earlier. I mean, yeah, I think that's really important. Another thing is I personally am really motivated by music and influenced by music. I mean, without music, I cannot be creative. That's just how it is. And so whenever I try to make a video, whenever I try to do something, it takes me hours to find the right music, but then I try to use that in order to evoke emotions. I try to use that to play with like the bass drops to really match with what's going on screen and just kind of create this this flow, exactly. Unfortunately, that's great. I think that's amazing when people do that, and I really, really appreciate that when I do see that in other people's works. Unfortunately, that's not the case with portfolios, especially if you're making reels and stuff. Yeah, you can put a lot of effort into, with the music and all that, like that, that's no problem. The more effort, the better. However, the reality is most companies aren't going to listen to it with sound. They're just going to take, a quick glance, or they're just going to scroll through your reel and stuff like that. So, I mean, yeah, it is important to put work into that, because if you don't, then a company does try to listen to the sound, then, that can be a little awkward. But you should be focusing more on the story, more on the reel, more on what you're trying to show the company, instead of just, okay, look at this cool music and, that's it.
Yeah, definitely. Absolutely. I totally agree on that. And that's also something that they told me, like 7 out of 10 times these big companies won't even listen to your portfolio, but they will look at your stuff. Like someone even told me, like Pixar, for example, I don't know if that's true, but they just told me that. They're working at Newbie, so I guess I can believe them. They told me that Pixar, before they even open your portfolio, they cut out the audio. They completely remove the audio to just see your visuals, because the audio could kind of influence them in the way they look at your portfolio. And I thought this was pretty interesting. Like, I mean, it makes sense. But so that proves that you shouldn't be wasting much time, like unless you're doing audio design, obviously. But if you're like more of a visual person, then you shouldn't be wasting too much time putting so much work into your audio, because like it's going to be cut out 90% of the times anyway. So you can just leave it out or do simple music stuff, as long as it's not distracting, as long as it's not too blah, 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 whatever going on, then I mean, it's fine. Yeah.
But I mean, if you do want to, make good audio, I mean, that's fine too. But then I would definitely recommend, doing it, but then cutting out the audio and then just making sure that the visuals convey that story.
Exactly.
Then cut out the visuals and listen to the music. Does the music invoke these emotions that your story is trying to tell. And if both of them are saying the same story, then, that's awesome. Then you have a project that has the same emotions, that has the same sway on it. But yeah, just keep in mind that there's a good chance that your audio is just going to be cut out.
Yeah, absolutely. Another thing that I was told, which was quite funny to me, is so in university they always taught me that I should upload my work and especially my show reel to Vimeo instead of YouTube or anything because, like that's more professional. That's where the professional upload their stuff and blah, 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 blah. And I actually asked someone about that at FMX, and they were like, yeah, that's true. It's like it's kind of became a standard to do that. However, it's shit. Like nowadays, Vimeo is just kind of like another platform that just wants to eat your money. And it might have a little bit less of compression on your video, hence why many people uploaded their stuff on there. However, yeah, it's getting so shit that it's actually not worth it uploading to there anymore. So you can just be comfortable like uploading your stuff on YouTube just casually and then embedding this into your portfolio because this will make it a much smoother and less frustrating experience to watch your videos than on Vimeo. And I'm speaking from experience here because I actually had trouble playing my video on Vimeo when I tried to show my stuff to recruiters. And they were like, okay, just fuck Vimeo, just go to YouTube and upload your stuff there. That's totally fine. So that's something little I wanted to add as well.
Yeah, and there's also something, when you try to apply for a company, whether big or small, although this mostly applies to larger companies, you definitely want to show them what you can do, but you also want to offer them what you're able to do, what you can fix for them. If you become part of their project, what exactly can you do? And I think that has, because I've talked to people about this, and I feel like that has a lot of positive push, because even if it doesn't work out, this line of questioning, it's like this weird psychological battle when it comes to job applications. But then you kind of set yourself in the back of their mind. And then if something comes up later that day, later that month or whatever, and that specific problem shows up, then in their mind, they're going to be thinking, oh, wait, I know this one guy, he came in for, to have an interview, and he said that he's able to do this. This is what he specializes as. So, okay, well, yeah, maybe we should, see if he would really, fit into our team and stuff. Yeah. Now, obviously, this is, the best case scenario. That doesn't always happen, but I think it is a good practice to, when you are doing interviews and stuff like that, to kind of offer them what you're able to do for them.
Exactly. Instead of like saying, okay, I want to learn this from you. I do want to, I wanna. Instead of saying that, you could just, as he said, like offer stuff to them. Instead of requesting something, offer something to them because that makes in their eyes you much more valuable to their company. Another thing that they told me is to do shorter projects because that has many advantages over doing long-term projects, obviously. Because one is that you can start it quicker and you are finished quicker, which means that you can do more projects. And also, if you run into a problem, for example, you are not risking this whole big project you've been working on, losing all of the progress you've done if it doesn't work out when you're making a really big project for your portfolio. If you mess that up, then you lose much more time and effort you put into this than with a small project. So focus more on making smaller projects, especially when you're working for yourself and your portfolio and stuff. So just don't waste your time on big projects. Even though it's fun, don't do it. Do small projects, and this is how you actually fill up your portfolio in an efficient way. Yeah, we just noticed that this recording is already an hour long. There's going to be a lot of fun editing this.
Thanks.
Mm-hmm. But to actually wrap this up now for the second time, let's actually wrap this up by saying, okay, here are some resources because I was told the rookies, so English, please work, ROOKIES, rookies, apparently is a platform for students or graduators that has graduated and don't have much experience, for people like that to exchange thought processes, projects, to connect to each other, to get internships at companies, and even to participate
participate.
Thank you.
First try.
In small competitions with one another. So that's a really cool way, apparently, to get to know new people and to expand on your work and your portfolio. Because this was something a lady at Adobe was really excited about. And so yeah, the rookies, check that out. I will also check it out soon. Then for people in the games industry, apparently GamesMap is a thing. I'm not sure if it's only for Germany or if it's international, but apparently you can find small gaming studios who offer like internships and small jobs and stuff, which you could apply to, and you get it visually shown on a map. So gamesmap.com or .de, I think it is. Yeah, you can also check that out if you want to work in the gaming industry. The third thing that I wanted to mention is that LinkedIn, I mean, most of us are probably familiar with this. LinkedIn, like for me, was always kind of boring. Like I was like, oh, okay, it's just another social media thing that's kind of dead right now. But that's actually not true. Like so many people, also professional people, already told me that LinkedIn isn't dead. It's actually pretty alive. Like, and then it's vibrant and there's so much going on. And that LinkedIn is super, super important for networking, actually. Mm-hmm. So I was completely wrong about that. And I signed up to LinkedIn again. And they were right. Like, there's everything on LinkedIn, especially for the creative community. And they said, yeah, if you go to any of these events, which you should do, obviously, have a LinkedIn account, connect to people, like don't only follow them, but connect to them. And then this might also open some doors to other job offers then in the future. For example, if you also like stuff or comment on stuff or post stuff on there yourself, then other people and recruiters, for example, might see that and be like, hey, this is actually pretty cool what this person is doing in their free time. Let's hire them, or at least let's talk to them. So LinkedIn is a pretty powerful tool that you should really start to use for your own work. And last of all of our favorite topic.
AI.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, AI is now an
ever-adapting force in our world that is going to continue to evolve, and yeah,
is here to stay, basically.
Exactly, definitely.
And yeah, like everybody's talking about it, kind of. Everybody's worrying about it. And I also talked to people about it at FMX, but most of them were like, okay, AI is cool. We also implemented it into our workflow already, but we shouldn't worry about it. It will maybe kill some jobs, but not too many. There were still people working in these jobs, and we are humans, and we are here to stay as well. Machines will not replace us in the future. So please don't panic about this. Please don't worry. Maybe be cautious, but don't panic. Don't worry. Don't say like, oh no, I will never get a job because of AI, because that's bullshit. And yeah, I think there are pretty mixed feelings about AI, and I think it's in everybody's head. So if you're actually keen to learn more about this and to kind of like dive deeper into this topic, also on a more philosophical layer. Sorry, my English isn't working. Yeah, Cypher has actually made a little video about it on his channel. So if you're actually interested in learning more about AI, you can take a look at the link in the description and follow his journey into the rabbit hole called AI. Do you have anything to add?
No, I think thanks for the shout out. I appreciate that. But yeah, I do think that this is a really interesting topic. And yeah, I think that's awesome that you were able to partake in this really awesome event. Like, I can see just how happy you are talking about this. And yeah, but I really hope that you're able to take these tips and tricks and implement them in your own life. Same with the viewers and stuff, because I think that's really good to be able to hear from another person who's struggling. And, almost all artistic people are struggling in one way or another, but we try not to really show that and stuff. But I mean, yeah, once you realize that, these big companies, they're just people. These giant projects, they're just made up of people. All these great artists who are so good with like all these visual arts and they're specialists and they're best of the best, they're just people. And it's important to kind of keep that in mind, that you can do it. You just need the drive, you need the motivation, and yeah, sometimes it just, you need the socialization, you need someone else to be there and help pick you back up and continue forward.
Yeah, absolutely. And also what he just said, even these big companies, they're also struggling. They just don't show it. Like, this is something I would actually like to change in this world with my own projects. I would like to, show my struggles, be open about it, show it publicly, what I'm struggling with, because I'm just a human. I'm not perfect. I don't know everything. And I think, yeah, nobody's perfect, nobody knows everything, but nobody actually shows that openly. So this is something I want to change, especially within this industry, because I think it's far too not talked about, like what people are actually going through, especially for beginners. This could be really helpful if they actually see, okay, I'm not the only one struggling. Other starters are also struggling, and even these big companies, which I admire so much, which I want to work at, even they are struggling. So yeah, I think this is a pretty important message that I want to get across as well. And yeah, this is also something I noticed at this event, because these companies, they were also talking about, okay, we were struggling. And I even met someone who's like a CEO at his studio, which he founded himself. And he's like really successful with it. He's doing 2D animation and stylization and all of this cool shit. Yeah, but even he said he was struggling for years finding a job. He was struggling for months not having work and not finding work just because, yeah, nobody wanted to take him. So it kind of applies to all of us. And this is what we should be more open about, I think. Like, as I said, nobody's perfect. Nobody's born to be great, to be creative, to be successful. And we all gotta work ourselves up there. But if we stick together and actually form a little community, that could make it far more easy for everybody involved. Yeah. So, do you have anything else to add?
No, I think that was beautifully put.
Thank you. So, yeah, I think that's about it. If you're interested, as we said, check out the links in the description, please. And yeah, have an awesome day. Be yourself, be creative, follow your dreams, and create awesome stuff. And please, please, please connect. Also connect with me. I will also probably leave a link to my LinkedIn in the description. And yeah, never give up. And yeah, see you in the next one.